Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem Baruch Haba. We're continuing Mishnah Berura, Daf Hashavua, Siman Kuf Chaf Ches, Seif Lamed Vav. Mal Tinoik Vames, Noises Kapav. Someone circumcised a child and the child died, the kain could still duchan. If rumors are swirling that the moil is a murderer, kivan shalin isbar hadavar, yisa es kapav. Since it's unfounded, he can duchan. Says the Mishnah Berura, Meranenem achrav, loy koi amal tinoik. This is not go.
The first
Mishnah amal tinoik v'meis. Thank you. Chada the ikaven l'shem mitzvah. Number one, the person's kavana was l'shem mitzvah. Va'oid miyemar dekala lechadashav. Secondly, maybe the kid was not viable. Va'oid shema haruach bil belatoi achar kach v'meis. Or maybe there were outside factors that contributed to the death of this child. The Dirshu brings a father that hit a kid and the kid died, or a Rebbe, or Shliach Bezdin. So the Afike Maginim says they would not be puzzle from Duchaning. Again, Kivan Shekivnu Lemitzvah. Whether that would still apply Bizman Hazeh, you'll ask your local Orthodox rabbi. Fine. Meranenem Acharav. Now that's the first thing. Mal Tinak V'meisas Kaba. V'meranenem Acharav. Is that going on the Mayal? So Mishnah Berura says, Loi Kai Amal Tinak. It's not going on someone who's circumcised a child. Because there, even if we have witnesses, the person could still duchen. The moil could still duchen. We're talking about, in general, there are rumors swirling that Pliny is a murderer. Nevertheless, since there are no witnesses, we're not going to exempt him from duchening. However, he himself, he himself, if he knows that it's true, lo yises kapav, meaning if the guy knows that even though the glove doesn't fit, he still did it, then that guy cannot duchen. Bein la'atzmai, beinim kayhanim achirim, whether to do duchen himself or even with others. So the Dirshu is bothered. Someone who there are rumors is a murderer cannot be a shliach tzibur. We learned that in Siman Nun Gimel Sif Daled. So the Oylas Talmud says, but maybe he could. But the Oylas Talmud said, but he could duchen. Why? Because the Kohanim are not playing an active role in duchening. They're just the middleman. They're not giving the bracha. The bracha comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Poskim discuss, what about someone who is Zarak Chetz into a group of 10 people? 9 are Akum, 1 is Yisrael. So it's like Kol Kavua Kamach Tzamach Sadami. And we don't know, he killed someone, we don't know who he killed. Okay, that's the Pri Megadim says in that case, Mistaber, he's a Safek Roitzeach and he can't duchen, but the Marsham says in such a case, if he does tshuva, he would be able to duchen. Okay. By the way, just I'm visiting the kever of the Chafetz Chaim, so researching the life of the Chafetz Chaim, you'll notice in Mishnah Berura there are no contemporary questions that are discussed. Nothing about electricity, nothing about any new inventions, and the Chafetz Chaim did it deliberately. Why? Because he said, let's say when it comes to electricity, we don't have any makar in Shas. Anything you're going to say about it is misvara ba'alma. So it says the Chafetz Chaim, it's very hard to be koiveya what the halacha is about any of these situations, misvara ba'alma. To be koiveya halacha, you need absolute precedent in the Shas. So, and secondly, the Chafetz Chaim said, if I'm koiveya misvara, people are not going to listen to me. He said, I'll leave it to contemporary poskim like the Berjana, the Marsham. I'm just mentioning that because we just saw the Marsham, that the Chavetz Chaim acknowledged the prowess in contemporary halacha of the Marsham. Anyway, Chavetz Chaim continues here. Sif Lamed Zayin. Mumar lo yisas kapav. A mumar cannot do tshuva. A mumar cannot duchen. Some say that if he did tshuva, he could duchen. The Rama says we paskin like the Yeshomrim. If he was forced to serve, if he was an oines, l'divrei hakol noiseis kapav. We mentioned yesterday that when the Mechaber spoke about a murderer in Sif Lamed Hey, Koyin Sha'arges HaNefesh, Afilu B'Shoigeg, Lo Yises Kapav. There the Ramah said, Yei Shoimrim D'Masar Tshuva, Noisei Es Kapav. But the Mechaber did not bring down this Yei Shoimrim. So, the simple explanation is that when it comes to murder, tshuva doesn't help because ein kateger nasa sanegar. That's the opinion of the Elya Rabbah and the Mata Yehuda. The Oilas Tamid and the Gra hold that the Mechaber, when he says in Sif Lamed Zayin, Yeshoimrim Shemasa Tshuva Noisei Kapav, it's also going on Sif Lamed Hey. We're going to do one more Mishna Berura. Mumar la'avodas gilulim, bein b'shoigeg ubein b'mezid. Whether he did it inadvertently, whether he did it intentionally, v'afilu asa tshuva. Why? The Alfinan me avoida shu pasala. We learn out duchening from the avoida in the mikdash. Ukidachsev, ach lo yalu koihane habamos el mizbach Hashem b'Yushalayim. It says the kohanim of the bamos cannot go up to the altar in Yerushalayim, and if they can't do the avoida on the mizbeach, we learn out they can't duchen, and even if they do tshuva. Now, how do we know that the avoida in the mikdash, even if they do tshuva, they are not allowed to duchen? Mishna Berura doesn't say. Where is the pasuk? Ach lo yalu kohanei abamos el mizbach Hashem b'Yerushalayim. Maybe there it's talking about when the Chal Yisrael came back and they did tshuva. Seemingly, the makar that we learn out duchening from avoida is even if the kohanim do tshuva. Im hivtiach lahamer v'chazar. Let's say a Jew gave his word, he's going to convert, and then he retracted. Lo nifsal kol yama. Everyone agrees he is not, he's allowed to duchen. Why? The Radvaz says, Dibur Bovad is not considered Avodah Zarah until you do a Maisa or you say to the Avodah Zarah, you're my God. Even someone who converts to Islam, which is not called Avodah Zarah, nevertheless is called a Mumar. By the way, this Mishna Berura is a gold mine. I can't believe I never realized this. There's a big machlokas hapoiskim, whether Christianity is Avodah Zarah or not. The Rabbi Yehuda says it's only Avodah Zarah for them. It's only Avodah Zarah for us, not for them. Yeah, it's only Avodah Zarah for a Jew, not for a guy. Oh, we're mitzuvah b'shitov. They're not mitzuvah b'shitov. Chassam Sofer says no. Chassam Sofer says it's Avodah Zarah for them. The Rambam, the Rambam before the censorship says clearly that Christianity is Avodah Zarah. So people wonder, what does the Mishna Berura hold? He doesn't say anything about Christianity. Yes, he does, right here, this Mishna Berura. The Mishna Berura paskins, Christianity is Avodah Zarah. Because he says, the poskim say, even if someone converts to Islam, you're still called a Mumar, even though it's not Avodah Zarah. Very clearly, the implication is that Christianity is Avodah Zarah. So even, when it comes to this subject, everyone quotes different poskim. They should bring the Mishna Berura. The Mishna Berura paskins in Hilchos Nasias Kapayim. Christianity is Avodah Zarah. That's a good one. Okay. V'chenim hu mumar l'chalo Shabbos b'farhesi areu ka'ovet gilulim v'loisa kapav. Likewise, someone who's a mumar to desecrate Shabbos publicly, he's like an oived avodah zarah, he cannot duchen. So what would be, a guy walks into the shul, he's not Shomer Shabbos. This is very common and has happened in almost all shuls in America. Yom Tif, a guy drives to shul, he wants to duchen. He's, Steve Cohen comes to shul, he wants to duchen. He's Mechalo Shabbos. Now, in Siman Shin Pei Hey Sivkatan Daled, Berura says someone who's Mechalo Shabbos once is a Machloikes HaPoskim if he's Mechalo Shabbos. What would the halacha be? Rav Moshe has a chidush nifla that Rashi in Masechta Chulin says that someone who serves idols denies God. So too, someone who's Mechalo Shabbos is koifer b'masa bereshis. But what about someone who says, I believe in Hashem, just it's very hard to support my family? So even though he's Mechalo Shabbos V'Hesya, and even though he's koivet avodah zara, but not legabe duchening, because the psul of duchening is that he's koifer in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if the guy is just having a hard time making a living, then he would be allowed to duchen. But it's better not to let him. The Rabbi Meir says better not to let him. Rav Shlomo Zalman says Rabbi Yosef says a mechalo Shabbos v'Hesya. Since there are those who say he's like a tinuk shenishba, you can be lenient that they're able to duchen, they don't lose the status of being able to go up to the duchen. Another amazing svara to be lenient, the Shal Shuvas Tzitz Eliezer brings Chelek Zayin, Siman Vav, Chelek Yud Gimel, Siman Yadalet in the name of the Adaras and Hagon Reb Chaim Oizer, that sometimes by preventing kohanim from duchening, it will cause a bigger problem, and that is if you don't let them duchen, they're going to forget their status of kohanim, and they're going to marry a grusha, they're going to marry women that passel them kahuna. So you're better off allowing them to go to the duchen in order that they remember their status of being kohanim. Okay, wishing everyone a beautiful day. We'll see everybody again, Bez Hashem, on Tuesday, B'siyata D'Shmaya. Wishing everyone bracha v'atzlacha.